And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcast. But also as well, inside sports, fantasy football. We cover the world of fantasy football like no one else. So please go ahead and check out what we are talking about when it comes to fantasy football, because playoffs are here for fantasy football. Team owners out there, so go ahead and join us at Inside Sports Fantasy Football. And he just appeared here. Now, he was also a great part of our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage. Go ahead and check out what's going on with Ox 1947. You know he's not a happy camper, and you know they're not happy too, but go ahead and hear what they're talking about anyways at LakersBall.com. Plus, he has a company that you need to support today, Simblades. Simblades with a Y.com. Also, as well, of course, our good friends, of course, Laker Tom and Jamie Sweet. You can find them at Lakerholics.com. More crazy Laker trade proposals as only Laker Tom can do. And you can find it at Lakerholics.com. Our good friends, including one right next to me right here, Lakers Corner. Go ahead and subscribe today, right there for you. And also Clutch Talk, his great channels. Go ahead and check out John Costa's great channels today. Plus also as well, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, always a great channel to go ahead and check out. Lakers in 5, the John McCalian channel, and of course also as well, Empire Jeff TV and the Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat. Please support those great channels today. And please go ahead and check out Magic Man hosting the coverage every time out, right there for you on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And last but certainly not least, and my cheap plugs that I'm known for so well, go ahead and please like and subscribe. Hit the little beady-eyed Joe right in there next to the big beady-eyed Joe, and you'll get the latest notifications on when we go live on the air. Plus, like and follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Kick, if you want. If you got the Kick for us, go ahead. Follow us there too. Go ahead and check us out, and please like and subscribe today at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers coming in for a quickie, per se. A little bit of home cooking, but only a little bit because it's one game. One game that they have at home at the Crypt, right there, against the New York Knicks. Spike Lee in the house in the Crypt after they got bamboozled by the Clippers the other night. You figured, okay, they're going to go ahead and play tough against the Lakers, but the Lakers will hand them, right? Well, the Lakers, after getting off to a decent start, unfortunately, by the time first quarter's over, they found themselves behind and never really got all the way back up, as they just kept finding ways to could fall down, just whether they couldn't even guard Brunson well or they just couldn't handle Julius Randle at times. A team like the Knicks, who has several gaping holes in their team, even though they're 14-11, just right around what the Lakers are doing. But they found the magic way to go ahead and pull out a victory. They went on a 15-2 run at the end of the third quarter to pull away by 10, and the Lakers just could not get back over the hump, as the Lakers came out very lethargic on their offense, just could not get it done as far as their shooting is concerned, and only 13 trips to the free throw line tonight for the Lakers. Hit 12 of them, but still not enough free throws for a team that is dependent on it. 31% from behind the 3-point line and 42% overall, and the Lakers meandered through a 114-109 loss to the New York Knicks. They're now 15-12, still 8th place in the Western Conference as I speak, but it's not looking good, because Houston, Phoenix Suns, and Golden State looking right behind them in the Western Conference. And here today to discuss this meandering game, so to speak, and you can throw the blame at Ham, throw the blame at players, didn't make the shots, what have you, just an L's an L. Good man indeed. He is the guy behind Clutch Talk, because it's clutch, all right, that's for sure. Plus also as well, Lakers Corner. It is the man. Lakers Corner, indeed. It is John Costa. And John, great to have you here, my friend. First man up, first man here. I know that you said you're in a different locale today. Looks good to me, no problem. But is it because the Lakers lost that you're in a new locale? Somebody threw you out of the house? Is that why? No,
The
no.
you know what the Lakers start time was a little later today, so my daughter forced me out of the room. I had to get in a different room. She needed her bedtime, but
Okay,
maybe the other room is the Lakers' lucky streak because
okay.
man, what a tough game, what a tough game. But happy to be here as always. Best Lakers post game around the world.
Well, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Happy holidays to you and yours, my friend. But very disappointing loss tonight because this is their only home game until Christmas when they face off against the Boston Celtics. You know, you've got Chicago. You know, you've got Minnesota. You know, you've got Oklahoma City. Not a very pleasing road trip coming up. Tonight, you really had to go ahead and get away with a win, and unfortunately couldn't get it done to go 15-12. John, tell us your thoughts, my friend.
And this is a tough game. And honestly, Gerald, you said it. You said it best when you said that we put ourselves in the hole early in the first quarter, and that's honestly starting to seem like it's just a theme for the season. I wouldn't say every single game, but I would say the majority of the games we allow 35 to 40 points in the first quarter, put ourselves in this hole. LeBron James and Anthony Davis will go and they'll have a
Mhm.
dominant second quarter, or some role players will come up big, and then we're right back in this game. And then sometimes it's an even back and forth game. But the issue is when you put yourself in a hole in that first quarter, you can't be having an even back and forth game. You need to have your dominant quarter yourself, and that's exactly what happened in this game. I feel like after the Knicks put up 35 points just in the first quarter, we were fighting an uphill battle the rest of the game, and
Always. That's most of
unfortunately,
the season, my friend.
we couldn't get it done today. And again, I look to Darvin Ham. I can't put all the blame on him, but I think that some of these terrible coaching decisions, taking timeouts into 6 timeouts into halftime, there's a lot, man. But I definitely want to hear what my guy, Magic Man and Joe got to say. But for me, I'm upset. I'm upset, man. L's a L, and can't be happy with that. Magic
Let
Man,
me
how you
ask you
doing?
this, though, before I get it to Magic Man, who was next on the list. Let me ask you this. When it comes to the supposed NBA Cup hangover, I brought the prospects of it about a week ago, and I just was saying, maybe watch out for that. Maybe last a game or two, whatnot. But Ham coming back on the road trip started making allusions to as far as expressions that maybe that's been the case. Are you a big believer in that? I think that okay, the NBA Cup hangover, maybe a game like the Dallas game, but then again, they were close and could have had that game. Still, no excuses why you lose in San Antonio to a 3-win team, no matter how many players you suit up for, and then coming home and blowing that only game on this current that homestand.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly a great point. At first, I wasn't a much believer of it. I was like, oh well, it's not really going to be much of a hangover. But then when we took a loss to the Spurs, who at the time were on I believe 18 game losing streak, where I
Yes.
was like, okay, maybe this is a real thing, because there's just no reason to be losing to a team like the Spurs. And then tonight, like I know shout out Anthony Davis, definitely had 32 points, 14 rebounds, did his thing, but I feel like we could, just by watching, just the eye test, we saw him just get outplayed, out hustled. The Lakers had, like, as a whole, just by Isaiah Hardenstein. I mean, when I saw no Mitchell Robinson out there, I was like, oh yeah, I think it was going to be one of those AD 40 piece nights, like how we did against the Pacers, where he was just dominant, had that look in his face when he took it to the post and knew nobody could guard him. But this game, didn't see it. We got out rebounded, outscored in the paint. There's no reason. There's no reason the Knicks team without no Mitchell Robinson should be outscoring us in the paint. And the only reason I could chalk that up to is the cup hangover. So I'm unfortunately starting to believe in it very much.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. The Lakers unfortunately lose 114-109. And also here today, great man indeed. He heads up our playback.tv/Lakers fast break live coverage and was very adamant throughout and just absolutely disappointed as far as the overall effort and focus by this team. Simply just not have had it since they've won the cup in Las Vegas. Great that they put up this banner. Woo-wee, yay. They, left up the banner. It is the Magic Man, Sean Rice, the madman from Toronto. He did go out of Toronto traffic to see this turd tonight. Let me ask you this, my friend. When it comes to seeing that lovely IST banner and all that garbage, I couldn't care less. That's great that they got $500,000. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Hasn't done us as Laker fans any good beyond that, because what kind of Lakers team we've got out of it since then has not been a very good one, Magic Man.
Yeah, absolutely, Drill. And just for the record, isn't it really more like, because they all live in California, isn't it really like 250K? Doesn't California come for half of that?
Yes.
Yeah. So
maybe they have creative.
No. The championship.
Well, maybe they have creative accounts.
The championship was played in Vegas.
Yes.
In Nevada. So,
but maybe they have creative accounts.
So the quarterfinal and the semifinal were played in Los Angeles, correct?
Right. But the money was won in Nevada. I would check the details on that. That's different.
Okay. Magic Man, your thoughts on the game, my friend.
Here's what I care about them not getting taxes or whatever. They get paid.
You should watch your language.
They get paid to win games during the 82 regular seasons games. That's what matters to me. And that's what matters to Gerald. That's what matters to John. That's what matters to you too, big guy. And they're coming up short. Gerald, tonight was a dog's breakfast at best.
Well, they had a dog there.
And then the third quarter, the dog took care of the dog, went outside and emptied out the breakfast. That was look, that zone defense that Ham played, that was straight amateurish, Gerald. Let's be honest, it was straight up amateurish. Especially when you got Jalen Brunson just kicking your ass on a pick and roll over and over again. And Gerald, did Darvin Ham do anything to try and mend that problem? Did he ask AD to come over quicker on that pick and roll so maybe he can give Austin a little bit of length so Brunson doesn't have an easy path there? Nope. Did D'Lo come over and try and help out because he knew that RJ Barrett was coming off that as well? Nope. No help whatsoever. Yeah, Austin got hunted and he got roasted pretty badly, but he also didn't get any help from his coaching staff or his teammates. They all let him hang out to dry there, Gerald. And in concert with that, Ham decides his big adjustment is going to go to a 3-2 zone to try and get the ball out of Jalen Brunson's hands. Well, he did do that, Joe, but you know what ended up happening? Instead of Brunson getting mainly a lot of assists off pick and rolls, what he did was get a lot of hockey assists because, as John mentioned, you had guys like Hartenstein, Josh Hart willing to facilitate and rebound. They don't care about scoring. Josh Hart and Isaiah Hartenstein could give to what's about putting the ball in the hole. That's not really their job. But they did their job anyway. There was very little adjustments, I thought, Gerald. It felt like a 7-8 point lead for the whole game, really. And I'm just frustrated at this point, man, because three things are happening. I see it, Gerald, with Laker fans. One is there are some of us who really do see a dog's breakfast at critical points in the game, and they need to make either serious adjustments or upgrades. Two is some of our fans are great at internalizing losses, which I don't understand fundamentally, but I guess if you're optimistic enough to think that this group is championship level, I guess you'll internalize a loss like this and think, oh well, it's just one of 82. And three is just delusional out to lunch, thinking that they're just gonna find their switch here. You can't. We talked about this time and time again, Gerald, and I'm really sick of repeating myself, but it just feels like we have to. There's no switch for that intensity. There's no intensity switch. You either meet the moment or you don't. There's no middle. You can't rev up your intensity and think you can climb back up. It doesn't work that way. It never has. It never will. And if you can't meet the moment, then you're going to fall flat on your face. That's what happened. Like they are not meeting the intensity of that tip ball, Joe. Okay?
No.
15-12 right now, 27 games. You've won 4 first quarters, 4, and you've had 1 tied. That's 22 of 27 games where you're coming out flat.
Not good.
Not good. Not good.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Magic Man Sean Grice, a great part of our coverage. Please go ahead and check out his great hosting skills on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also, as well, Lakers Corner with John Costa. Please check out that and his other channel, Clutch Points. Plus, also, as well, good man indeed. You got to go ahead and check him out every time he's at Ox1947 at SlakerPaul.com. Also, as well, he owns a company, Simblades. Simblades with a Y.com. It is Joe Soro. And Joe, great to have you here. Wanted to go ahead and mention this as far as Arthur Johnson's comment in the super chat. By the way, Magic Man, your headphones aren't plugged in. It's your standard mic on floor mic. Just wanted to let you know on that so I can hear your clicks. $4.99 from Arthur Johnson says, with winning the tournament, they cautiously made the beelines to the rim. Few threes. They're not Golden State Warriors. Why not play to their strength and not weaknesses? Your thoughts on that, my friend, and how it correlated to tonight's game?
Because that takes more energy to do. 3-point shots are less energy usage shots. The excuse coming from your head coach is all you need in exactly who that guy is. When your coach is giving you excuses for why they stink, you know right away that's no leader, that's no head coach. That's an assistant coach for life. That's someone that should be counseling certain players who make bad decisions the night before, not counseling professional basketball players in how to run a system and when to make decisions a certain way. First of all, the Lakers played 6 out of the 7 games in the tournament that mattered. So spare me the bullshit about running out of gas or putting a lot of effort in that thing. Those are regular season games. You have to play those games and they count. The only game that didn't count is the title game. And if one 48-minute title game is all of a sudden going to make you too focused on playing the rest of the season, then you need to just quit right now and stop wasting our time. And give me my money back on the money I pay for the Sportsnet channel.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. It's a $3 billion contract that's, I think, going to run out in 4 years, I believe. But anyways.
I think around there, yeah. Just not soon enough would be my answer.
Anyways, the problem tonight that was glaring more than any dumb decision that seems to happen game in and game out is I saw wide open shots missed. I'm going to attribute this loss to wide open shots missed. This is not the first time we've seen this team miss wide open shots. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of statistical information here. You have 3 starters in a league where 3-point shots are the dominant shot. 3 starters who played at least 27 minutes, 38 minutes, and 39 minutes. Those 3 combined for 5 of 25. Now, if they hit 10 of 25, that's still not good, but the Lakers win this game. So the Lakers are not just not hitting their shots. They're terrible at shooting in a league and in an era where shooting is everything. And then you compound that with someone who just does not know how to be a head coach. He is a terrible head coach, not just from the system standpoint, from a leadership standpoint, from a demeanor standpoint, from a vocal standpoint, from a preparation standpoint. Believe me, guys, I know bad coaching. I've seen it for a very long time. And you all know where I'm going with this. I'll leave it at that. You all know. All you got to do is watch the last 3 Sundays, or I should say the last Saturdays and 2 Sundays, or Thursday, Sunday, and Saturday, because the a-hole that reigns on the NFL wants to end up playing football every goddamn day. So bad coaching, bad decisions from coaching is a debilitating. It's just debilitating to a team. And when you're losing the same way over and over again, your job as a head coach is to adjust. And if you don't have the talent to adjust, that's one thing. When you do have the talent, when you have 2 superstars on your team, how many teams out there have legitimately 2 starting players that are going to start in the All-Star game?
Not too many.
Quick, right? There's a few.
Phoenix, Philadelphia, Boston.
Maxi's going to be a starter?
Yeah, that's
He
tough.
should be.
He should be, but I don't know if he'll get that.
Okay, but you're still questioning that. The ones that are guaranteed: Booker, Durant, LeBron, AD. I don't even know if Tatum and Brown will be starters on
You're
the
probably
East.
Braun. It'd probably just be Tatum.
So bottom line is you have 2, not only 2. You have an all-time great who's still balling, and you have a guy that's in his prime, and you still can't adjust. And you're playing 5 guys. This isn't an 11-man team where one left tackle that's not blocking can ruin everything. You have 2 stars on your team, and you cannot win against, what'd you call them, Sean? What'd you call the mid team?
The mid team.
Yeah.
Mid.
And the
New
Knicks
York
have
Knicks.
been a mid team with the exception of Carmelo Anthony for 1 year. For 24 years. I know it could be worse. We could be Knicks fans. In that time, we've won 6 championships. But I digress. The point is,
Clippers fans. That
the
could be a lot
Lakers.
worse.
I don't really want to talk about the Clippers. If we don't talk about the Clippers or say the word Clippers, it'd be still too soon. But there's a ticker problem here with this team. They think they are better than they are. LeBron is supposed to be the leader. LeBron takes ill-advised shots every game because there's no one there to tell him not to do it.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is the Lakers, unfortunately, losing tonight, 114-109. Before I get it back over to John, let me ask Joe real quick. Kurt had in the chat, who would you want more as a coach, Ham or Roberts?
Is death the third one?
I knew he was going to. Kurt, you always love pushing those buttons, Kurt. Big props to you, my friend. Big props to you. John, let me ask you this. I know Rodell's saying, Ham isn't going away anytime soon. Yeah, I get that. Ham is not going. He's got more years on his contract. The Lakers are not going to choke on that big of a contract. So I get that. He's not going away anytime soon. But what do you think, as far as from your perspective, what do you think Ham may have done differently to maybe alter the outcome to this game?
I just think, honestly, getting AD in there earlier. I seen a lot of times early in the game. I seen when LeBron he had sat for extensive amount of period, and it was really just AD out there. And at first I was like, okay, LeBron James 38, about to be 39. I'll take it. We weren't, we weren't really down by that much. AD was kind of able to keep us in the game. And then late down the stretch, end of the game, now the roles have switched. There's about, I think, 7 minutes left in the game, and Anthony Davis is still not on the floor. We are clearly getting out rebounded. We're clearly getting dominated in the paint, and Anthony Davis is quite literally the solution to that problem. That is, and I don't want to misspeak here, so let me pull this up. But I believe the Knicks scored 62 points in the paint. And you mean to tell me that Anthony Davis cannot be a solution, or maybe even half of the solution to that? And then we 5 minutes left in the game, still no Anthony Davis in the game. So my biggest issue with Darvin Ham is rotations, and it's adjustments. You got to realize what's going on out there and be able to make those adjustments on the fly. I think he takes just way too long. The Knicks will go on a 10-0 run, and then he'll call a timeout and then get Anthony Davis in there. And when we already allow 35 points in the first quarter, we're already fighting back from a hole. He's making adjustments way too late in the game. I think the staggering of the LeBron James and Anthony Davis minutes really hurt us tonight. I say this all the time. A LeBron James and Anthony Davis pick and roll is, in my opinion, quite literally still one of the most dominant plays in the NBA. Can't really be stopped, especially if you have hopefully some shooters around him, which right now we're sitting 24th in the league for shooting. So not too many shooters around him, but I just think that in a game win, in a must-win situation like this, fourth quarter, 7 minutes left in the game, Anthony Davis has got to be in there. LeBron James got to be in there. Our best guys to give us the best chance to win has got to be in there. And just time and time again, Darvin Ham is not doing that.
Once again, it is the Lakers losing 114-109. Magic Man, let me ask you this. When you see the amount of offensive rebounds, again, 11-9, it doesn't look too much different on the scoreboard, but it just seemed like more to me as far as the number of offensive rebounds they were getting. Mitchell Robinson is out for several weeks due to injury. There is no reason why Isaiah Hartenstein should come in and get 17 rebounds like John was just saying when you have AD in the ball game. What is wrong when Isaiah Hartenstein is dominating the inside more than Anthony Davis?
Gerald, he thought a zone was going to be the answer to some of the issues that we had defensively, and our zone got cooked like the Christmas goose. Dude, this is a serious problem with him and adjustments. Like, Gerald, if you know that Jalen Brunson is constantly hunting Austin Reeves, I'm asking you now. You're the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, Gerald. What would be your number one adjustment? I know what mine would be. It would be a scram switch. Now, what would you do?
I would just make sure if he's not be able to get it done for you on that end of the floor to the point where it's that detrimental, and if he's not scoring at the level you need him to, get him off the floor. It's just that simple.
You can't do that. He's the only guy that can make shots.
But if he's making shots, then you got to live with it. But try to go and make sure you give him enough help or double or do something to go ahead.
You have Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt on the floor. Tell me why you can't scram switch. Both of those guys are long, they're lanky, and they could disrupt passing lanes.
Well, you have to, as a coach, enforce it. You have to tell them.
He's got to tell
them and this let them know under no circumstances.
This is a big problem. I want everybody to kind of understand what we're talking about here. When you're talking about a scram switch, what that is the defense adjusting to what the offense is doing. The offense wants to switch your weakest defender onto their strongest offensive player. Now, most teams would make a scram switch. They would identify what's going on immediately, and they would draw up their second best perimeter defender to guard against the worst. LeBron did this a lot in Cleveland, Gerald. He did this a lot. He worked with George Hill. He worked with Zydrunas Ilgauskas. He worked with Anderson Varejao. Hell, he worked with J.R. Smith on scram switches. So he is not ignorant about what you need to do there. He's 39 years old. He can't do what he used to do in Cleveland. So that means somebody else has to take that responsibility. But Gerald, you and I both know that LeBron is smart enough to see what's going on. He saw what was going on the last game when Christian Wood was getting hunted, Gerald. And did you see that long look he gave Darvin Ham the last game? He slammed the ball on the ground, slammed the ball on the floor, and eyeballed him for about 3 seconds. I'm surprised he didn't do that again. Now, look, we all know that Darvin Ham is capable of making adjustments. He did it in the playoffs last year. but that was under a couple of different circumstances. One, you're playing the same team. Two, you have a lot more resources along with your assistant coaches focusing in on just that one team. In an 82-game regular season, Gerald, we know Darvin Ham is not a good coach. He isn't. He hasn't been. He isn't right now, and he won't be in the future. The question is, has he learned enough at this point to make the adjustments you need to make the deeper you go into the playoffs? Because we found out, Gerald, the deeper he went, the deeper he was exposed. So a lot of things need work. And we're tired. We're kind of tired of saying the same things over and over again. But if I'm thinking this, and Z is thinking something along those lines of a scram or trying to run some kind of hybrid 3 and out, you have to try something
him
to double it.
Try
something. Try something. He didn't try anything except a mediocre zone that got cooked.
And again, it was either him or it was I can live with AD or LeBron guarding up against Randall. I can handle that as far as if Randall's scoring against one of those guys. But when it comes to what we saw where Austin Reeves constantly got picked on, he better scored on the other end, is all I say. He didn't do quite enough of that tonight, but he has been playing well as of late. Unfortunately, today it was 20 points, so not quite enough to get it done. Joe, I mean, again, you said you don't want to take him off the floor. So what do you do if he's constantly getting picked on like he did tonight by Jalen Brunson?
Well, there needs to be a secondary defender that could at least
come in and help over.
Force Jalen to make either a tough pass or funnel it so that it goes to a player that's less likely to make a shot. You take your chances with a less than stellar shooter that the Knicks have all over the place, and not have him do his floater in the paint that he seems to never miss. But the same problems that the Lakers have had for a while now are still there. Offensive rebounding is atrocious. Offensive rebounding is going to be the death of this team in the end. Because when you give a team a second and third shot, it's more than 2 points. You guys have heard me say that baskets in the NBA sometimes mean more than 2 or 3 points. It's sequences in the game that dictate momentum and emotion. So let's say the Lakers are up 2. They miss a layup. The other team hits a 3. That's a 5-point swing. Now they're up 1 versus you being up 5. That's how quick it is. That's how quick it is. And the Lakers seem to have those sequences a lot. I mean, a lot. It's almost every game. And this team is full of excuses. Bad leadership. It's bad leadership. I question a lot whether LeBron. Do you guys think LeBron's a leader?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I do think.
You hesitated. That should have been quick. It's like saying, "Is this guy a Hall of Famer?" And then you're like, The answer is no. So I'm going to use an analogy here from another athlete. I used to hear from Steeler fans that Big Ben was the leader of the team after Hines Ward retired, Troy retired, which is complete BS. Troy was never a leader. He was a leader by example. I'm talking about someone that can embrace a team by vocally speaking and having the respect of the room. Ray Lewis, Hines Ward, James Ferrier for the Steelers was one as well. Jerome Bettis back in the day. Obviously, when you look at the Patriots, you had, Tom Brady being the main one. And then when Rodney Harrison was playing and Brewski and all those guys, the Lakers, LeBron, I never felt had a leadership gene the way it's traditionally a gene. Some would say Kobe Bryant was the leader of the Lakers, but there had to be a secondary guy, which was similar to what Pippen and Jordan were. Jordan was the hard parent. Pippen was the nice parent. Kobe was the mean parent. Derek Fisher was the nice parent. There's none of that, at least, on this team. AD is not a vocal leader. LeBron does too many suspect plays and I don't feel like he can like inspire. Doesn't inspire. I don't see any inspiring traits that LeBron can kind of get out there for the team. And maybe that's part of the era. Maybe we don't really have that anymore because we don't see a lot of traditional point guard type players. We don't see the dominant big man that, that people are like, hey, we're going down to the big fella. I mean, you can say Embiid is a leader, but not really. Jokic, leader by example again. So the vocal leaders are just not what it used to be. And LeBron is somewhat of the old school, according to what's going on now. And these are the times when you need somebody in that huddle saying, start making your shots. Get your head out of your rear end. Why is it that Steve Kerr couldn't hit shots when he was in Cleveland and Phoenix, and then he started hitting them in Chicago? What, there weren't open shots in Phoenix and in Cleveland? They had some good teams back then. Why was he making it then? And a lot of times I think there's certain people that need to have a foot in their, coming towards their way to get them to kind of say, hey, we're going to get you a ball. We're going to get you a ball. You got to make that shot. And then when you're in practice, hey, why are you only taking 50 shots today? Dude, you should be taking 200 shots. None of that is going on. So how are you going to improve? The only way you improve is by getting more talent. Problem is you have a collective bargaining agreement and 50 billion rules that you need to be a NASA scientist to figure out, to make it work. Everything is being geared so that you don't make one trade without having to think about every math problem on the planet to get it done.
Yeah, I understand what Joe's saying. I'm just like, even if you did have a leader like in that locker room, given the Gipper speech, like can't turn Vando into a 3-and-D player, can't turn Cam Reddish into a scorer, Gerald. You can't force Darvin Ham to play Rui Hachimura more than 17 minutes a game, which is what he's averaging the last 6, Gerald. You can't get blood from a stone. I understand what Joe's saying, but even if you had a Vernon Maxwell or a Marcus Smart in that locker room, what makes you think that would in any way influence the way Darvin Ham coaches, Joe? I don't think it would.
A bad coach can be masked to some degree when you have amazing leadership on the court.
Are you talking like a Udonis Haslem, Joe? What are you talking?
Maybe.
Because when you say like I'll be honest, when you
no, it's got to be someone who's a star. Udonis Haslem's leadership, with all due respect to Udonis, and that guy wasn't doing jack shit for 5 years.
But he was the spiritual and emotional leader of that Miami Heat
I need
team.
someone that can.
It wasn't. Yeah, but what you're saying is that you need your emotional leader to be your best player.
That's tough.
That's
you
tough.
have to have at least the dual leadership thing. Like I told you, Pippen, Jordan. Pippen was
tough,
right? But if not,
Michael Jordan wasn't even. I don't even think you could define him as that guy.
As what?
He wasn't the emotional leader in that locker room.
He wasn't. Him berating Scott Burrell in the locker room isn't him being an emotional leader?
Okay.
The kid born in '99.
Would you ever know who Bill Wennington is if it wasn't for Jordan? Would you know Would you know?
Well,
He's
Canadian.
Would you know who John Paxson is? Would you know who B.J. Armstrong is?
Can I give a counter to that? Would you know who Chris Anderson is? Norris Cole, Mario Chalmers, a lot of these players that LeBron.
Oh God, Rio.
Because the only clapback that I have to that, Joe, is because like when you were talking about other leaders around the league, like you gave Jokic like the leader by example. But if Jokic is leader by example, like how is LeBron not?
Because he makes terrible decisions on the court a lot, and there's
Joe, would you? Okay, that's no.
Fair.
No.
Jokic
We're
doesn't
talking about the Lakers here. We're not getting off track. Charles Oakley was the emotional leader for the Chicago Bulls as long as he was on that team. When he was off that team, you can make that argument. But while Charles Oakley was on the Bulls, no way Jordan runs that locker room. He was a kid. Charles Oakley was a man.
Okay.
Men don't listen to boys, Joe. Men listen to other men.
You wouldn't say that Jordan, his second year in the league, wasn't a young guy towards the cocaine crowd that were men?
No.
No?
No.
No, you're wrong on this one. Your play is the man. The guy that's whooping your ass is the man. Because they try to pull that Cedric Maxwell.
Guess what?
Cedric Maxwell and those cats try to pull that crap against Larry Bird.
When you're 21 years
and Larry
old,
Bird had to drop their ass in the first practice.
When you're 21 years old, you sit in the passenger seat.
No,
don't sit in the driver's seat.
True.
You don't drive the bus.
Not if they're whooping your ass. Not if they're kicking your ass in the court. You have no say. Go ask Larry Bird his rookie season. Go ask him. Cedric Maxwell and that crew. Talk about the cocaine train. Those guys didn't give two craps about
Celtics, winning. That's
in honor of that joke. Do a line right now for me, please.
Oh my God! Oh my
kidding.
God!
I'm kidding.
Gerald, do not. Oh God, Gerald.
I will not advocate doing drugs on this show. You know, he's already said he's never done drugs and will never do drugs.
He's the most anti-drug person I know.
Amazingly enough, with his anger issues. So, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I have anger issues, according to you. My anger issues are a weapon.
And let's not forget something, okay? What he said is very valid. What he did say was very valid. But let's remember one thing. The first time the Boston Celtics won their championship, Gerald, in the 80s, who was the MVP of the finals?
Which was BS.
It was Cedric Maxwell.
Yeah.
It wasn't Larry Bird.
Yeah, that should have gone to Larry Bird. That's dumb. It's like giving.
They'll even tell you that in Boston.
It's like giving what's his name?
Andre Iguodala.
MVP at 15. Like really, Iguodala? Really? Come on. You're really gonna make the finals without Steph Curry?
But Gerald, I just put that shot chart back up. Taurean Prince is leveled off again. We have the great Taurean Prince the past 9 games, and the past couple he's reverted back to
live by the 3, die by the 3.
Man.
3 of 13 from beyond the arc. Missed a lot, and to be fair, a couple of those were in and out.
But that's what shooters are, Magic Man. That's what shooters do for the behind the line. You know, Laker Tom, all he cared about yesterday on yesterday's show was that Lakers need to bring in someone that could, just up the ante on the threes. He could just shoot more threes, shoot more. He never said make more threes. He just said this team needs to shoot more threes because we're one of the worst teams.
Well, and I'm sure after
just need
grabbing...
to shoot more threes. Doesn't matter if you make them, just as long as you shoot a Magic Man. And I was actually pointed it out that all he cares about is just shooting more threes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
it's a Northern California bubble.
Yes. Doesn't matter if you make them.
Okay, the question is who, what, how? are you going to get these miraculous shooters?
They
With what?
fall from the sky?
With D'Angelo Russell? Every time I saw D'Angelo guard Reddish, I'm sorry, not Reddish.
Brunson.
Not Brunson.
Barrett.
Quickly.
Barrett. It looked like he was just doing this. Who's going to take him on and give us a shooter? Who? Tell me. You're going to have to throw in Austin Reeves in these trades with D'Angelo if you want to get anything back of value. But then you're creating a lateral movement at that point, right? The Lakers have no chance at any legitimate third guy or a shooter that would make shots that when we need it, unless there's a massive issue with some team and their player going, I want to go to LA or I'm doing this, which really there's no guy out there anymore that does that. No one really does that anymore.
And I agree with you to a certain extent. So that's why, you know, and I've talked about this on the show a lot of times with you guys. Like, if we can't get that third guy, then like F it. Let's just commit to what we have. Like, because in theory, bringing in Taurean Prince, like this man shot almost 40% from 3-point last season. Clearly, it's not working right now. But I mean, you're gonna miss every shot you don't take. In theory, this is what we bought you in for when we're coming downhill and LeBron James is now drawing the defense and now we're kicking out to a shooter in the corner. Do you remember last year with Jarrett Vanderbilt? Like, he was supposed to do that, and he was that 3-and-D guy, but could not knock down that corner shot. And in theory, we bought Taurean Prince to knock down that corner shot. It hasn't gone down so far. Like, we're like 30-ish games to the season now. But so I agree with you, Joe. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if we can get that guy, but who is that guy? And unless a star is disgruntled, we're not going to get that guy. So then if that's the case, F it. Let's just go all in what we have and hope that some consistency is going to roll around, because we've seen the good days.
Yeah, there's only one way this team wins a championship, and that's going to be AD and LeBron going Mach 5, 15, 20, and playing 40 to 42 minutes a game in the playoffs.
Which we can do, which as long as our team can get us to at least a top 4 seed, the plan is.
But just don't be surprised if LeBron comes up lame in the Western Conference Finals or AD.
It's been working out so much. Again, it's the same scenario. We're seeing deja vu. Joe sees this. I see this. The reason why Joe was saying that he, try to limit LeBron's minutes to 28 and 29, which I know was a dream in and of itself and lasted all of one game, was the fact that we see him turning 39 later this month. It's going to be so hard for him and AD to do this over and over again, where they have to continue to fight uphill. They're going to be around the trade deadline or late into February or into early March, and they're going to be in 9th place in the Western Conference again, trying to battle and claw and scratch their way to a better slot up, and then they have to be in the play-in. Right now, they'd be in the play-in, so now they have to fight just to get into the first round. It's deja vu all over again. We're saying that the Lakers need to go ahead and apply themselves, focus themselves, and have a better coaching staff around them to put this team in a better position going forward. It's not about, okay, yeah, the Lakers are doing fine, or the Lakers are just doing fine. Oh, they'll come around to it. It's about winning these games now that they can easily, under other circumstances, take. They should have won in Dallas. They should have won Friday night in San Antonio. And you know what? Had they been focused, they should have won here. Because you know what's coming up on the schedule, as I spoke to you, John, earlier. This road trip, Chicago. Are they going to win in Chicago? Well, Chicago just won at Philadelphia, tonight. So they may not be a pushover like we think they are. Then you go into Minnesota, the best record in the NBA at home. And then the next night you have, oh, by the way, Oklahoma City, who's in the top. Are they still second place in the Western Conference, Sean?
Yes, sir. Second place.
So there you go. And then again, by the way, did I mention to you that you have the Celtics on Christmas, and before the end of the year, like right around LeBron's birthday, you could go back to Minnesota as a birthday present / Christmas present to LeBron once again. So it doesn't get any easier for us out there. So that's why we say you have to win these winnable games now to pad your record. The good teams do this. They make it easier on themselves. Denver feasted on us in the playoffs because we were a tired, gassed out team. Yeah, of course, there was some out coaching done. Yeah, of course, some players didn't step up to the battle, but LeBron and AD were clearly taxed. And if you guys can't realize that we're going through that same scenario again, that's what I am concerned with right now. And I know Joe, when he says stuff like that, he is concerned about it as well. Magic Man, do you concur with us, or do you see something different as far as what's out there, my friend?
No, that was pretty much on point, Gerald.
I shoot out everyone now and then. I just,
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good. That was succinct to the point and had an exclamation point at the end of it.
Well,
so.
it's so this, okay, when I hear when I say something like, oh, Austin Reeves defense during the summer, it'll be okay. It's no problem. I hear all of our fan base, a lot of our fan base, it's okay. Well, look what happens. Then we see, okay, I think they're going to go ahead and maybe should not play that hard enough, or maybe take a game off, rest LeBron in some of these NBA Cup games, because if you win the NBA Cup, you'll have to play an extra game. It's okay. They'll be just fine. They'll be just fine.
And I think therein lies a greater question, Gerald, that I have for you.
They used a lot of energy going to Vegas and playing in Vegas, and I'll leave it at that.
Which leads to a bigger question that I think is more important. And I'll ask you, Gerald. So when most fans had that demeanor and attitude regarding Reeves and not too worried about his defense, was that thinking that it's not really a problem because we know that Reeves is a resilient kid and he can fight through things? Or is that more on Darvin realizing or not realizing that Darvin Ham isn't the coach that maybe some people thought he was? Because I think that's a greater question. Because if the case is you were expecting more out of Austin Reeves defensively, I would say to you, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn.
There's a reason why he was not drafted.
Yes, and we saw it last year with him struggling. Now, it wasn't obvious to a lot of people because
they didn't game plan for him.
They didn't game plan for him. When he became a starter, there wasn't a lot of film on him, so he was able to showcase a lot of skills that teams didn't realize he had, Gerald. And then when there was enough film on him, we saw him struggling a little bit, and we called it out. It was in that beginning of March, Gerald, just before the playoffs. He was struggling a little bit, and he still couldn't find his confidence in that first round Memphis until I think around Game 5.
Kurt would like to buy a bridge, by the way. Do you have Venmo, Kurt? Kidding, Magic Man.
Yeah, you'll have to deal with Kathy Hochul, Kurt. That's a whole nother story.
PayPal. There you go.
But
go ahead, my friend.
No, Gerald. That's the question. It's because if you were thinking you were going to get more out of Reeves defensively, sorry about your poor observations. But again, it's small. Like actually, Gerald, aside from the Lithuania game, Kerr actually made adjustments for trying to help Reeves. Now, Triple J really didn't help him out much, and neither did Paolo Banchero, but that's another story. The fact is, Anthony Davis is a well-rounded defender, Gerald. He's more than capable of seeing Austin struggling and understanding what he could do as a teammate to help him. I just don't think that for whatever reason, Ham is not making adjustments. It's mind-numbing to me. It really is.
It is. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more, Magic Man. But before we head on out, I agree. Let me go ahead and get it back to John real quick, and then I'll close it out with Joe. Once again, the Lakers do lose 114 to 109. They fall to 15 and 12, still 8th place in the Western Conference. Magic Man, what he said was very pointed, very smart, and very astute right there. Plus, he gets to sell a bridge to Current Affair. What I want to ask you this, Lakers corner. I'm trying to lighten the mood. I'm sorry. I'm trying to lighten the mood of this loss. Sorry, Magic Man. My apologies. But when it comes to the adjustments that you need to make on the fly, you keep on. Okay, Joe's right. He's doing good enough offensively to stay in the game, but he keeps on getting picked on defensively. This is a continual problem. And so if you're going to have Austin Reeves out there, know this is going to be the case. Ham is not scheming to counter this. So what do you think he needs to do to counter this? Because this is continually a problem for the Lakers that they go at Reeves time and time again.
Honestly, I think this is going to be a situation.
Oh, and by the way, Kurt will buy a bridge from you as well, he said.
There we go, Kurt. But honestly, I think this is a situation where, it is tough to sit him because what are you gonna do? But I do think that I was never one of those Lakers fans that bought into like, oh, Austin Reeves is gonna get better at defense over the summer. I was one of those Lakers fans that I'm like, ooh, yes, like we added Cam Reddish to Jared Vanderbilt to Rui. Okay, so now we got these 3D guys who I'm hoping are going to be able to pick up some of the slack on the defensive end for the D-Los, for the Austin Reeves. Now, when we get the switch, I'm not gonna lie. Like in that fourth quarter, Cam Reddish was picking up Jalen Brunson right about at half court. RJ Barrett would keep coming, set that pick, and then they'd have to they'd get the switch on Austin Reeves, and then Jalen Brunson would go to work. I think we're to the point where I agree with Joe to where we can't take Austin Reeves out, but we also can't have that switch be constantly happening. So you gotta have Austin Reeves at least be able to hedge enough to where Cam Reddish can have time to be able to get over the screen and get there, because at the end of the day, we can't take him out. So because then we'll be on a predicament on the offensive end. But I do think that that we also can't just keep letting these ISO balls happen. So I think just honestly, it's the same thing I say with Luka. Luka's a terrible defender, but if you can just play defense enough to at least just stall that guy to where our primary defender can at least be able to get back, that's about all you can wish for. And then for Darvin Ham, we just need him to play LeBron and AD together more and make those adjustments earlier in the game.
I think Magic Man is right. I agree with you, Magic Man, and I'll get it to you in a sec, Joe. But I think you're right. The scram defensive assignments and format is something Ham should utilize more properly because, again, it helps out D'Lo and Austin immensely on defense in where they're really, really bad and where they really stick out, my friend.
Joe?
I'm thinking.
Well, this could take a while.
Yeah, Gerald, I agree.
Joe. Like, Joe's a great sport. Joe is a great sport. Yes.
Now, I'm sure he ran it sporadically last year, Gerald, but I don't remember a lot of it. But yeah, he needs to utilize that and insert it into his defense. It's
they're game planning now for it.
Yeah, it's necessary
at this start point hitting open shots.
They're adjusting to it. And hold on, they're adjusting to it, and as Gerald just said, recognizing that the Lakers don't run any scram, so we're just being murdered out there.
We need to hit open shots. You're NBA players. You have a wide open shot and you miss them a lot. They win this game despite the deficiencies of Darvin Ham's lineups and the deficiencies on defense.
But Joe, he's been relying on Prince as our go-to shooter for the past 9 games. He missed 10 3-pointers, Joe. This is gonna happen.
They don't have anyone. Who do they have? Who else can shoot? Can't shoot. Jared can't shoot.
But he had no legs in the fourth quarter. So this is what Darvin Ham does. He cuts off his nose to spite his face.
Does Rui change the game?
Are you going to tell me that Prince had legs in the fourth quarter?
Okay,
Gerald, they were Jello, weren't they?
Let's do this.
He had
Someone
played more
needs to
minutes because remember he was mirroring Randall's minutes. But go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Someone needs to ask why Rui's only playing 17 minutes a night.
Agreed.
That's probably where you'll find your answer.
'Cause
I
he
want to
was
know
mirroring.
why. I can't figure it out. I'm watching the game. I'm like, every time I see Rui hit an open shot, I'm like, okay, let's keep this going. But then he never sees the ball again. So what is it? What does Rui do that he doesn't like?
For some reason, Prince was mirroring for most of the game. He was mirroring the same amount of minutes as Julius Randle. And I'm just wondering because they were not guarding each other. I mean, that much. Prince was playing more out on the perimeter against Brunson and trying against that. But I don't understand why you played Prince so much tonight. Because like you said, Magic Man, at the very end, he got gassed and it affects.
I think your bigger problem, honestly, is what Darren's saying. I think D'Lo's the biggest problem. D'Lo should be getting those shots. He should be hitting those shots then if it's not going to be Prince. D'Lo is killing this team. He's the Darvin Ham of this team on the court.
I know it's hard for John to say because John is big supporter of D'Lo.
Damn.
It has nothing to do with whether you're a supporter or not. It's what's going on. This supporting BS that I keep hearing. What is this supporting? When someone's playing like dump, what are you supporting? I don't understand what that means. This isn't soccer. Okay, we don't say transfer when we're trading people. We don't say supporting when we're fans. Like, this is America. Okay, let's talk normal here. When a guy sucks, I don't care who you're supporting, unless it's his family and friends. They get the get out of jail free card on that one. But for observers like us, when you're constantly watching your guy go like this, and then you're nowhere to be found on open threes, they're relying on someone who's making $2.7 million that they got this summer, then what? What are you there for? For a couple fancy elbow shots in the first quarter? We need your ass in the fourth quarter, not in the first.
John, I mean, you are a fan of D'Lo, as you have stated.
I've stated this before. I mean, I feel like you guys know my stand on this. Yes, the shot making is inconsistent, but we have to take the bad with the good. Like, do we see the offense that he opens up for us, allowing LeBron to run the lanes? Like, we really have to realize, like, if we get rid of D'Lo, let's say we bring in a good defensive guard. That defensive guard is not going to be the same playmaker that D'Lo is. He's not going to be able to get AD them easy buckets off the pick and roll. He's not going to be able to get players like Christian Wood, who he cannot go get a shot by himself. You know how he's going to get a shot? When he runs a pick and roll with D'Lo, and D'Lo puts the ball where only he can get it. You know what D'Lo does for us? Allows LeBron to be able to run the lanes. Like, LeBron at 38, running downhill, nobody's still stopping that. And D'Lo is about the only player on this team, I'll be honest with you, that almost every time down court gives LeBron a perfect pass on the lane, and LeBron goes down court too big, too strong. His inconsistency on offense, like, I feel you. I really feel you on that. But like I said, you just have to take the bad with the good, because unless we go get
and defense, because if he's not shooting well like he has in the past week, and as Joe says, a Matador type defense where it's, watch like a car crash, watching it go by. Today
wasn't as bad. 3 of 6 from the field, 50%. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, he had a positive effect on the game. Actually, John, if you look at the tweet here. The D'Lo plus AR Prince Vando AD unit to end the second, an 18-6 LA run to get the lead, and D'Lo had 6 points and 2 assists. The non-D'Lo Lakers unit to close the third. Knicks went on a 10-2 run, which included an 8-0, and LA was down 10. That was the game at the end of the third to me.
But then I'll get it back to what I said to John back when you first interviewed me on his channel. And that refers to why did D'Lo get traded in the first place when he was a 40% statistical shooter from three, which is better than what he's done with the Lakers, was because that the team in Minnesota was better with him off the floor than on statistically. They've actually gotten better since they traded him and brought in Mike Conley as a stabilizing force for their team. That's what we need in our offense. That's what we need as far as defense. That's what we need as overall in a team is a leader or a stabilizing force. And whatever playmaking skills he gives us, John, he's just not giving us that something special that this team sorely needs that you're seeing right now Mike Conley give in Minnesota at this point in time.
Yes, but who's going to give us that we're realistically going to get? Like I said, unless we go out there and get Malcolm Brogdon, which we're not going to get, like who are we going to get? We're going to get a great, let's say we go out there and get, like, I guess just for like a guard defender, like a Matthew Dellavedova, right? Just like, this is what you do on defense. Like go lock down the other point guard. Now LeBron is mandated to be the point guard. Now LeBron is, it has to be the playmaker every single time down court. I love it, but now that you're putting a lot more miles on LeBron, you're asking a lot more of a 38.
Ham's doing that anyways.
He is.
He plays the guy 38 minutes.
He is. I mean, you know what? Maybe we're doing this round and round. Let's just get rid of Darvin Ham. Let's just get rid of Darvin Ham. We're doing this round about
you would make Doobie. Okay, if we did that, or if that happened, Doobie, I can tell you, wherever Doobie's at, would be the first person to go outside his house, and you would actually get videos of him doing cartwheels going down the street, because he absolutely hates Ham so much. I mean, Ham is just, you see mistakes. You see things. If we are the average fan, when we watch him play back, that sees things that he should be seeing as well, because he's supposed to be closer to the action than he is. And if we can make these adjustments, if we can see these things, why can't he? That's the problem. Now, every fan base hates its coach or second guesses their coach to some extent. It's just we see constant mistakes. Like in San Antonio, when you're crappy with the first team that you came out there in the first quarter, why would you bring out the same crappy team starting lineup that you came out with in the third quarter, as Magic Man was vehemently saying at that time on playback? And sure enough, the same thing happened all over again, leading to that embarrassing loss in San Antonio. Tonight, Joe could be right. It could have just been about making more shots, but maybe it's about putting those players in the best position to make shots that would have made it easier for them. I noticed they had a plan to make sure they closed off the lane when LeBron tried to go ahead and come in and drive to get some easy baskets. You notice Brunson slid over to go ahead and protect the free throw line so that he couldn't get through there. You notice the things that they did to slide over to go ahead and make LeBron's life a little less comfortable. It's just little things like that you see, and that's coaching. That's something that you tell and instruct your players on doing, and I just don't see that enough from Ham, if that's the case, John, with all due respect.
And I mean, honestly, I'm right there with you guys. Last season was, I was already questioning Darvin Ham and his rotations, but as time went on, I was like, all right, let's give him some more time. But as we keep going on through the season, and players like Rui are getting 17 minutes a game, players like Jared Vanderbilt, when we need these defenders, aren't getting the time they need. When AD is sitting with 5 minutes left in the game and we're getting out rebounded by Isaiah Hartenstein.
When Mitchell Robinson is not even there.
Man, I mean, I think these are just honestly simple adjustments that if a coach isn't making, that, we need to cut ties with them. But unfortunately, I know Genie's not gonna do that this season.
Free Smoke is talking like you, Magic Man, looking at Gary Trent Jr., GTJ. What's your thoughts on that?
How are we gonna get that?
Hey man,
I would. How are we gonna get that though?
3 second-round picks will do it, Gerald. Yeah, for the Raptors, 3
Go ahead, Joe.
second-round
I'm not
picks.
mute you right now. Go ahead, Joe.
Masai's gonna want 14 first-round picks for him, so there's no point.
3 second-round picks will get you Gary Trent Jr.
I gotta believe that. I gotta see that to believe it. Masai's a clown.
3 second-round picks. You got Rui
Masai is
Hachimura.
Ainge part 2. They're more concerned about winning a trade than actually winning. And they both got handed a championship by somebody they knew.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
what do you mean, all right?
We're just agreeing with you, Joe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Not trying to be a pisser on you, man. I'm just trying to agree with you. All right.
I was talking to Sean.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes you get a little bit nastier in your mocking tone to Sean when you guys do your mock arguments and stuff. So that's why I wasn't feeding on it quite yet. So good. Yes. All right.
I'd love
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. It is Joe Soro. Go ahead and please support him today at Simblades. He's wearing
support me.
Oh, I told you you could never
and we'll make many transfers together.
Go ahead and check out his company. Simblades.
By the way, football is football with the pigskin.
Football
with the ball. You know, the ball where you throw it with your hand. That's football. Yours is soccer.
What do you mean mine? I'm from the state. What do you mean mine?
It's from North America.
Like, what are you talking about?
That's yours, Magic Man. That's yours, man. Deal with it, man. Deal with it.
I'm not Euro trash.
I'm not Euro trash.
It is, of course, Joe Soro. Please go ahead and check out his great company, Simblades. He's rocking the shirt, Simblades. Simblades with the Y.com. Also, as well, Magic Man Sean Grice. Please support him every time out at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. And of course, John, what you working on, my friend, coming up at Lakers Corner and Clutch Talk on your channels before we head on out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do got my Lakers Corner channel for all Lakers content. And then I have my Clutch Talk channel that'll be on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Just dropping NBA weekly content and just weekly recap videos. But as always, appreciate you guys for letting me come on the best Lakers postgame show around town, baby.
Absolutely. If we're not at each other's throats, we're at your face with our perspective. Great to have you here. Great to have your insight, my friend. Always a pleasure. Always bringing it. People are very happy. I've seen in comments where they're very appreciative of the time that you're here, and they're a lot nicer to you than they are to us sometimes. So that's all I'll say. That you don't get any emails yet. So you've made it when you get emails. When you get emails to like we do. So that's when you let me know when you start getting the emails saying you're wrong.
Okay, I will let you.
In paragraphs, not just in words, paragraphs. Why you're wrong.
I welcome all emails, guys. I welcome all emails. Send them my way. Would love to talk. People
will take time out of their day, sometimes writing 600-700 words to tell you in their own innovative words, you suck and you're wrong.
You know what? At least they're passionate. At least they're they're here, they're listening, they're passionate. We appreciate that.
They don't usually make sense when they do in those 600 or 700 words, but yes, okay. I'll take your word for it. Yes, we do appreciate you emailing us anytime, LakersFastBreak@yahoo.com. Also, as well, check us out tomorrow. We're going to have more great stuff for you. We'll have more thoughts on the Lakers as they head out on another road trip because the homestand today didn't work out so well. So they're heading out against Chicago, Minnesota, and Oklahoma City. So we'll preview that. Magic Man, my friend, you did a great job today heading up our coverage on Playback. Any last thoughts, my friend, before we head on out?
Oh, God, Gerald, that's the worst road trip in the entire NBA. A back-to-back in cold-ass Chicago. And then you're going to even colder Minnesota, where if you watch long enough, you could probably watch a tree explode. It gets so cold there.
And what do they get when they come back home? Christmas Day against the Celtics.
Yeah, the Boston Celtics, the 20-5 Boston Celtics, the 20-5 Boston Celtics who have played their hardest part of the schedule and are 20-5.
Yeah. Joe, any little tidbits?
to Boston.
Man. Kobe TV says he's laughing. Says you all AD groupies. Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
say anything
Pretty-
about ED tonight.
No, I
Pretty
think he's
dumb.
talking about the chat. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, the chat.
Well, what else? Who else are we going to cheer for at this point?
Man,
right?
I mean, he's what we're hoping on right here. He goes as our team goes.
Yeah. I mean, how many consistent players do we have on the Lakers roster right now? 2.
Yeah,
Just
2.
Two. That's it.
Yeah.
And one of them,
And even, well, I was
No,
going to
go
say
ahead.
one of them is AD, and he's only consistent playing now. You know, it's been kind of an up and down road to start off the season, but he's playing a lot better now. If only we had a consistent team to, just help them out. But we'll see. It is once again the Lakers losing 114-109. We'll be back for more insight as only we can provide it, because we're going to try and bring you stuff any day we can, every day we can. Appreciate John again stopping by from Lakers Corner. Please support him. Support all the great channels that are friends of ours, including Empire Jeff TV, of course, Lakers Corner, Clutch Talk, also as well, of course, Larry Lakers Dribbling Chit Chat, of course, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, Lakers in 5, John McCanlian channel, all the great channels. And then Ken, please like and subscribe. We were having a big crowd tonight. They love us more, Joe, in losses than in wins. Isn't that weird or not?
No.
Yeah, knowing us, that's not. What can you say? All right. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Lakers lose 114-109. We'll be back tomorrow for more fun and hijinks as only we can bring it to you this holiday season right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Happy holidays, everyone.
Still the
Although
18th.
I don't feel